America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, welcome everybody. Good morning. I hope that the picture is okay, and I hope you can see me, and I hope that the connection is better. Former Congressman Joe Walsh on the road this morning with the social contract with Joe Walsh. I got a question. Jump right into a question. Good morning, Facebook. Hello, MAGA on Facebook. Let me ask you, MAGA, let me ask everybody a question. A simple, direct question. If an unelected George Soros were calling the shots in Washington, D.C., would Sean Hannity be upset? Kind of like if a tree falls in the middle of forest and no one's around. Does anybody hear it? Did the tree really fall? If an unelected George Soros were calling the shots and dictating policy in Washington, D.C., would Sean Hannity be upset? Would Fox News be upset? Would Laura Ingraham be upset? Would MAGA be upset? Would all of Trump's supporters be upset if George Soros were in charge? In essence, if George Soros were the president-elect, do you think MAGA would be upset? Would the right be upset? If George Soros, boogeyman from the left, if he were the president-elect right now, and he were calling the shots in Washington, and George Soros, again, unelected, I'll remind you, George Soros, if he was the guy who was going to decide whether the government stayed open or not, whether the government was funded or not, if an unelected George Soros was in charge of answering those questions, would the right be upset? Would Hannity be angry? If in this country right now, if every Democratic member of Congress did exactly what George Soros told them to do, man, MAGA, would you be angry? Would you be angry? If we elected a Democratic president and George Soros were that Democratic president's closest advisor and biggest funder, and so George Soros could tell that Democratic president-elect what to do, man, would the right be angry? Would MAGA be losing their shit right now? If an unelected multi-billionaire named George Soros were president of the United States, because, hey, again, newsflash, that's where we are right now. Elon Musk, unelected, oligarch, multi-billionaire, in fact, the wealthiest guy on the planet, Elon Musk is in charge right now. An unelected, wealthy dude is calling the shots in Washington, D.C. right now. He's in charge. He's the boss. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, every single Republican, they hop when he speaks. They do exactly what he tells them to do. Donald Trump, I got to be honest, MAGA, I'm confused. Who did America just elect? Straight up question. Did we just elect a month ago Donald Trump, or did we just elect a month ago this wealthiest guy on the planet, Elon Musk? Who did we elect? I mean that. Who's the president-elect? Man, if I'd gone on vacation for a month, like to another planet or somewhere else in the world, and I just checked out, I didn't read a newspaper, I didn't go online, and I came back to America yesterday, and I opened up my newspapers and I went online. I'd been gone for a month. I'd been gone since the election, but I came back yesterday and I finally started to pay attention to the news and politics again. Man, if that were me yesterday and I was paying attention to what happened yesterday, I'd think Elon Musk was the president. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's the one who decided yesterday that the spending package, the continuing resolution to keep the government open, to keep the government funded, Elon Musk decided that was a bad bill. So Elon Musk shut it down. Again, no matter where you stand on Elon Musk, I'm just telling you this. I'm making a different point. If I had disappeared for a month and I came back yesterday, I would think that Elon Musk was the president or the president-elect. I would think that Elon Musk got elected on November 5th because he's calling the shots, TikTok. He didn't like this continuing resolution, this spending bill. He said, I don't like it, and it went away. And then Donald Trump came out and said, yeah, me too, me too, me too. Like Donald Trump. Who's Donald Trump? Like, I'd be really confused, MAGA. I'd be really confused. Like, I thought Trump was the candidate. And I come back a month after the election, based on what I saw yesterday, Elon Musk leading the charge, telling every Republican in Washington, including Donald Trump, what to do. I'm watching that, and I'm convinced Elon Musk is the president. Is Donald Trump the vice president? I don't know. Is Donald Trump an advisor to Elon Musk? Is Trump going to be in Elon's cabinet? I wouldn't know. The only thing I'd know for sure, and what happened to J.D. Vance? Because I got like Elon Musk doing everything right now. So that's all I'd know. Elon Musk literally told the Speaker of the House, this is what you have to do. So it's understandable that I'd think Elon Musk was the president. But I go back because then I'd talk to people because I was gone for a month, remember? So I talked to people and the people would tell me, oh, Joe, you're being silly. Joe, you're being crazy. Trump won. Trump won the election. He beat Kamala Harris. He's the president. He's the president-elect. He's in charge. Elon Musk, Joe, is just Trump's biggest donor. And so Elon Musk is like helping Trump call the shots. But Trump's the president. So then I'd go back to my original question, everybody. Well, that sounds kind of fucked up. We elected Trump. We didn't elect Elon Musk. But Elon Musk is dictating policy. Elon Musk, the wealthiest guy on the planet, who owns one of the biggest social media platforms, is telling every Republican in Washington what to do. And he did yesterday. So I'm then thinking, then this is really fucked up, because if the shoe was on the other foot, if we elected a Democrat and George Soros was that Democratic president-elect's biggest advisor and biggest donor, and George Soros were out there calling the shots, well, I'd be upset. I wouldn't like that. I know MAGA wouldn't like that, right? Because MAGA, ever since I got elected to Congress 10 years ago, MAGA has always been complaining about big, bad, evil George Soros, right? He's behind everything, and he's really wealthy and all of that. So I wouldn't want George Soros, unelected, calling the shots. But silly me, MAGA, I'm fairly consistent. I don't want unelected Elon Musk calling the shots. Silly me. I'm a former member of Congress. I got elected to do a job. Every member of Congress got elected to do a job. And the most important job, one of the most important jobs they're supposed to do every year is make on and vote on a budget. Go through regular order, the appropriations process, and dictate how much the government's going to spend and take in every year. That's the job of Congress. We don't live in that world. By the way, we haven't lived in that world for a long, long time. And so right now, we've got a guy who's utterly unelected, super, super wealthy. Trump owes him because Elon pretty much really helped get Trump elected. So now Elon's the president. Elon is acting like the president. It is a load of crap, JP. It is a load of crap. You didn't vote for Elon Musk. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Raise your hand, all of MAGA. Is there anybody, MAGA, listening to me on Facebook who voted for Elon Musk? Raise your hand. Look, let me walk through what I'm saying. So the government is going to shut down tomorrow because the government, we run the government in a really shitty way. And I say this as a former congressman. We haven't done our jobs for a long, long time. We've been funding the government a few months at a time for a long, long time. Democrats have done it. Follow along. Republicans have done it. Republicans, MAGA, I'm going slow. Republicans have been doing it for the past 2 years. Republicans for the past 2 years have never really passed a budget. They've been funding the government a few months at a time. These things that we call continuing resolutions. That's just fancy Washington, D.C. talk for funding the government a couple months at a time, because Republicans have never wanted to do what we're supposed to do, right? You come up with a budget, the appropriations process, regular order. The Appropriations Committee dictates, says how much money we can or should spend and or how much we can take in. Everybody votes on that. Each department, each agency comes up with their budget, works through the appropriations process, department by department, through the committees, and then on the floor, and every member of Congress does their job, and they debate and they try to compromise on a real budget. And again, department by department by department, members of Congress get to decide. It's called regular order. We haven't done that in a long, long time. It is fucked up. It was fucked up when I was there. Completely messed up. The budgeting and spending process in Washington, D.C. We no longer do it right. We've been funding government a few months at a time for a long, long time. I acknowledge that. And by the way, when I was in Congress, I voted against all of this. This is not the way we're supposed to do it. Sit down, make a budget. Let's vote on everything in that budget, up or down. Let's compromise. Let's take things out, put things back in. But members of Congress have the ability to weigh in on the budget. So I voted against all this stuff when I was there. The process has been messed up forever, Republican and Democrat. Republicans for the past 2 years. Republicans when Donald Trump was president. It's always been this way. And I want to remind everybody listening to me right now, don't you dare complain about the debt. Don't you dare complain about the debt. Don't you be a Donald Trump supporter and complain about the debt. No president in American history, none, has added more to the debt in 4 years than Donald Trump. In real dollars and in percentage increase, Donald Trump increased the national debt in his 4-year term more than any other president in American history in any 4-year term. So, can we cut through the bullshit, MAGA? This isn't about the debt, right? Because Republicans spend money like drunken soldiers, and Democrats spend money like drunken soldiers. In fact, that analogy no longer works. They blew by that long time ago. Both parties did. But Trump is the king of debt. So Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about debt. This isn't about the debt. So the system's broken. Agreed. And that's where we are right now. We've got until tomorrow to keep the government open. So what did the Republicans propose? They put forward a bill, a continuing resolution. And isn't it funny how they waited to the last minute to fund the government through next March? What is that, 3 months or so? Basic, just fund the government. And sure, they probably threw a few goodies in there because that's what they always do, Republicans and Democrats. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they're the ones who are in charge of cutting government spending. Bull. They're not going to do anything. Elon Musk didn't like this bill to fund the government through March. So yesterday, Elon Musk, the wealthiest man on the planet, used his platform X. I think he tweeted 75 tweets telling all of his followers, this is a bad bill. Call your member of Congress and tell them not to support this bill. And within a matter of about 3 or 4 hours, the bill went away. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, came out and said, bad bill, we're not going to pass it. Never mind. Because Elon Musk told them not to. And I need to make one other point here. Elon Musk lies about a lot of things. He does. He lies about a lot. He spreads a lot of misinformation and disinformation. But remember, a lot of people support Elon Musk. A lot of people support Donald Trump. So clearly a lot of Americans don't mind being lied to all the time, right? Like we're going through that. They vote for Trump. So clearly a lot of Americans don't mind being lied to. But Elon Musk lied about what's in this bill. He put out a lot of misinformation about what's in this bill. This bill didn't call for a 40% increase in pay for members of Congress. It didn't, not even close. I would add that members of Congress haven't gotten a pay increase since 2006. Elon lied about a lot of stuff that was in that bill, the continuing resolution, but that's not the most important point. The most important point is this. Elon Musk shut it down. Not Trump, not any elected Republican, not the Speaker of the House. Elon Musk, wealthiest person on the planet, owner of a huge social media platform, completely unelected, yesterday dictated public policy. He called the shots. That's fucked up. That's wrong. Again, color me stupid. I wouldn't want, if Elon Musk were a flaming lefty, I wouldn't want him calling the shots, unelected. If Elon Musk is a huge MAGA guy, I don't want him calling the shots. I don't want anybody who's unelected to determine policy in Washington, D.C. Like, right? That's the swamp. Remember Donald Trump ran against the swamp where unelected bureaucrats and unelected big fat cat donors tell elected members what to do, this swamp, this corrupt swamp where they have too much influence over elected members of Congress. That's the swamp, right? Remember, Trump was going to drain the swamp, right? Donald Trump was going to drain the swamp. Huh? Oh my God, you can't get swampier than this. The wealthiest dude on the planet is telling everybody what to do. You talk about corrupt. And it's so funny, by the way, TikTok. Trump is the swamp. Weird, you have no idea, says Steven. It's so funny. Yesterday, I said, once I saw all this going on, I said yesterday, well, hell, just make Elon Musk the speaker. Go ahead, make Elon the speaker. You know that the Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of Congress. Anybody, any American could be the speaker. So I said yesterday, go ahead and make Elon the speaker. Though that might be a downgrade because right now Elon's president. It doesn't look like Trump's president. Elon's president. But Rand Paul and a few Republicans came out today and said Elon should be speaker. I was just joking. Rand Paul's serious. Rand Paul said Elon Musk should be speaker because the swamp would be really upset. Oh, shut up, Rand Paul. The swamp? Rand Paul, you've been in Washington since 2010. Rand Paul, you're the swamp. You are the swamp. You've been in D.C. since 2010. You haven't done a damn thing about government spending. Look how much the deficits and the debt have increased since 2010. Rand Paul, you voted for a guy and support a guy called Donald Trump who increased the debt more than any other American president. Donald Trump is the swamp too. Take that. Can we do one thing, MAGA? TikTok, can we do one thing? Can we get rid of this whole swamp bullshit? Because the people in charge now, Trump is the swamp. Rand Paul is the swamp. They're in charge. They've been in charge for a long, long time. You can't be a member of Congress for more than 10 years and not say you're part of the swamp. Let's cut with the whole. Maybe that'll be the best thing about Trump back in Washington is we can be done with all this drain the swamp bullshit. It was bullshit from the beginning. It was a lie from the beginning. There ain't no bigger swamp creature in the world than Donald Trump. And what's going on right now in America right now with an unelected oligarch? That's what he is. And I remember a day, MAGA, when you and me used to oppose unelected oligarchs, like they were bad things. But now we've got an unelected oligarch in charge of Washington, D.C. And so I guess what I'm saying is, look, yeah, Washington's messed up. The budget process has been messed up since I was there. Washington has spent money they don't have since I was there, Republican and Democrat. But this isn't the way to fix it. Like members of, let me see if I can do this really slowly. They do love their cult. I say this as a former member of Congress. Washington is messed up and has been messed up and broken for a long, long time. Follow me. Because members of Congress don't do their job. We elect them to do a job. And when it comes to budgeting and spending, when it comes to the appropriations process, deciding how much we're going to put in each pocket and voting on that and compromising on that, doing all that hard work of coming up with a budget and approving a budget and boom, away you go. The answer is members of Congress need to do their job. They need to do that. They need to go back and decide they're not going to fund the government 2 to 3 months at a time. They're going to fund it a year or 2 or 3 or 4 at a time. They're going to go through the hard work to do that. Regular order. The answer is not give some rich dude who's never been elected to anything the power to do that. You want to reduce spending? Elect people who will reduce spending. And don't you dare tell me Republicans will. Man, I got to Washington 10, 12 years ago. I realized in one afternoon that Republicans and Democrats had zero interest in reducing spending. Both parties. This is scary shit, though. This is scary shit. Elon's not accountable to anybody. And members of Congress are snapping. They are saluting him. The government may shut down tomorrow. Veterans will stop getting their benefits. Government parks will be closed. Low-income Americans will stop getting their benefits. I go on and on. And maybe many people think that's a good thing. I'm not debating that right now. Washington spends too much. Washington has always spent more than they've taken in. Both parties have done this, and it needs to be fixed, no doubt. But what you've got to think about right now is the way things are going on right now. This guy, Elon Musk, unelected, is the one calling the shots. That's no way to fix this problem. No one should have that much power. No wealthy, unelected guy who lies a lot should have that much power. And by the way, if you're upset about government spending, if you're upset about what, the $35, $36 trillion national debt we have now, look, the shit that Elon and Vivek are talking about isn't going to move the needle at all, right? They're not even talking about pennies. Get rid of this program or that program here or there. Look at this crazy thing. We're funding the sex. We're researching the sex lives of SEALs. We're spending $1.5 million to research the sex lives of SEALs. Oh, let's get rid of that program. $1.5 million. That's not going to do anything to a nation that's $36 trillion in debt, to an economy that's about $14 billion a year. It grabs headlines, all the silly stuff the federal government spends money on. But that's not going to do anything about the debt crisis we are in now, and we've been in forever. And to my friends on the left, you could get rid of the entire Defense Department tomorrow, and you won't do a thing about the debt. That would not impact the debt at all. The biggest, fastest growing piece of our federal budget are what we call the entitlement programs: Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Obamacare, basically retirement benefits and all the health care costs for the American people as they get older. That's where almost all the money is, and that's the fastest growing part of the federal budget. Neither party wants to do anything about that. They'd rather go after the $2 million we're spending on does the sun impact the way that sparrows fly. We spend $900,000 on that program every year. It's more fun going after programs like that. And Elon and Vivek have been spending the last few weeks pointing out the craziness of what we spend money on, because it gets MAGA worked up. But it doesn't do anything. It won't do anything about government spending, and it won't do anything about the debt. As long as this country is afraid to make the hard choices to deal with an American population that is living longer and longer, demanding health care because they're living in longer and longer, until and unless we wrap our arms around that, this country will always have a massive, massive debt. But that's not for today either. The point today is this: what's happening now is wrong and scary. An unelected wealthy guy is telling every Republican what to do right out in the open. In the old days, it used to be, behind closed doors. Right now, it's out in the open. Elon Musk, unelected, telling the speaker and every Republican, get rid of that bill. Elon Musk telling Donald Trump, don't support that bill. Nobody elected Elon Musk to anything. This also is no way to run a government. Congress is afraid to do their fucking jobs. And right now, that's Republicans. Republicans are in charge. Republicans created this mess. And by the way, MAGA, I'm right. Right? Because if this were George Soros, oh my word. If George Soros owned Twitter, oh my God, and George Soros was telling a Democratic president-elect what to do, Sean Hannity would have already died of a heart attack right on air. Man, he'd already lost it. You'd be so upset, MAGA, if George Soros was the acting president-elect. That's what we have now. Elon Musk is the acting president-elect, and he will continue to do this as long as all of his followers and the MAGA audience gives him the power to do this. Don't expect Mike Johnson and your Republican members of Congress to stand up to Elon. They won't. They never stood up to Trump. They will do whatever Elon tells them to do. The only way it's ever going to change is if the voters, the people who sent Mike Johnson and all the other Republicans to Congress, say, stop it. Don't pay attention to Elon Musk. Work for us. Go create and vote on a budget. Do your jobs. Until we tell them to do that, they're not going to do that. Hey, thanks for listening. Joe Walsh, this is me. Hope you're going to have a great Thursday. If you want to shoot me an email, do joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. All one word, joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.